It looks like we got a full house, right? 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. No, who? We got one absent? Jimmy Dillon. Where's Jimmy Dillon? I thought I saw him. He's doing his business outside. Okay. All right. The infrastructure is going to meet, and it doesn't look like we've got an enormous number of resolutions and so forth, but we're first going to act on our minutes from the last meeting. Need a motion on that. Motion by Betty, seconded by Paul. If we have any corrections or changes of any type in our minutes? Vote. Ooh, mine won't come up. I got everything up, but I don't have the mic vote. Huh. Megan, do I have to hit something else here? I hit microphone, yeah. Yeah, yeah. It didn't come up.
She'll just mark it on her.
Okay. Mine is a yes, Megan. Motion carries. Moving on to the rest of the agenda. The first one, of course, has to do with the. I should have included the special ones. Do you want to vote again? Okay, thank you. We have confirmation by our legal counsel. All right, the first one here is item number 3, which has to do with our informational items, and the first one has to do with Brian. Did you take the seat over there? And Brian will give us any information that we need for the sanitary district.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. You have your, as usual, minutes in your board packet, but first quarter of the year is usually our time for budgeting. So that wrapped up a little earlier this year, and pleased to report another good budget going in next year. If you want to see that, it is always on our website, and welcome to go look at it and call me with any questions. Nice to see for this coming fiscal year a lot of the initiatives that we've been working on the last several years in terms of efficiency and cost controls really starting to show through in the budgeting process. So that's nice to come to fruition. Happy to answer any questions you might
have. Questions for Brian in regard to the sanitary district? Any questions? All right, moving on to our, thank you, Brian. Moving on to our second item, and well, what I did was I moved the page. Okay, our capital improvements, and is Heather going to take that?
Sorry,
Heather, I didn't see you. You're hiding here behind.
I'm short.
Behind Sharon, I couldn't see you.
Oh, you're fine. In your packets is the report for the capital projects funding sources and progress to date through April 17th. As you can tell, we have a lot of projects going on. I'm sure Assistant County Administrator Kyle Smith would also agree. Very busy at the courthouse and other county facilities. So we are looking at wrapping up quite a few projects for final payout. So next month's report, the first page should be a little bit shorter and the completed projects page should be a bit longer. So if you have any questions, I'm happy to answer those.
Questions for Heather? Anyone? Thank you, Heather.
Thank you.
And the last one is our annual report from the in regard to the national pollution, so forth situation, and Jeff is going to handle that.
As Mr. Solzer said, this is our annual public meeting we have to hold every year for our MPDS requirements. As far as the highway department is concerned, we are in compliance with everything except for the one item that was given to us or issued to us in an advisory letter in April 1st in 2019 that the county is not prohibited through ordinance or other regulatory mechanism non-stormwater discharges into the county storm sewer system and to implement appropriate enforcement procedures and actions in a program to respond to such discharges. Other than that, that's all I have to report.
Questions on this for Jeff?
Jeff, is it safe to assume that the outline for that compliance would come from the health department?
I honestly am not really sure. It would almost be a combination of us, planning and zoning, the sheriff's office. I mean, they're talking about writing tickets if you're not compliant. Like somebody dumps 5 gallons of gas down a storm drain. You know, whose is that to police it and write the citations, things like that. It's a very interesting issue, and I don't really know how to answer that, to be honest with you.
Okay, multifaceted.
I believe so, yes.
Yeah. Okay, thanks.
Thank you, Terry. No more questions? Thank you, Jeff. You might as well stay right there. All right, they're taking us easy on us this meeting. We only got 2 resolutions, and the first one has to do with a bunch of safety projects, so we need a motion to put this on the floor. Motion by Marcia, seconded by Betty.
So we applied for federal highway safety improvement funds, project funds, HSIP funds through Illinois Department of Transportation last fall, and in October we were notified that we had been awarded a total of $270,011 for engineering and construction. The federal amount will pay for 90% of the project, so the county only has to do 10% cost share. There are 6 intersections that we are going to be looking at. They could be as simple as adding rumble strips and maybe flashing signs. There's one intersection where there's been a couple of fatalities on Broomfield Jubilee Road that we're going to try to do a intelligent sign system where as people are approaching, lights start flashing, give them warning of the intersection due to how the intersection is constructed. So each intersection is going to be there's one down by Mapleton that's going to be reconfigured. It's got a couple of weird yield signs. We're going to make a 3-way stop. So every intersection is a little bit different. We went out for RFQ process because it's federal funds for the engineering, and Hutchison Engineering was the only firm that submitted. IDOT said it was okay due to the low cost of this project. So this agreement or this resolution is to approve an agreement with Hutchinson for $35,000. After this goes down, after the board approves it and it goes down to IDOT, you will see a second agreement come through to use the federal funds. But IDOT always likes to see the engineering agreement first. So you will see a second one on this related to this subject.
Questions for Jeff? Paul?
Jeff, have you figured out what intersections, all of them that you're going to do, or?
Yeah, they're listed here on the agenda.
Okay.
It's Route 40 at Truett Road, Park School Road and Elliott Road, Illinois 116 at Eden Road, Illinois 116 at Texas Road, Illinois 116 at Stone School Road, Kansas City Gloucester Road at Lancaster Road, and then Harker's Corner Road at Maple Ridge. I know some of these are intersections that come up to IDOT routes. What we will be improving is the stop ahead signs, the rumble strips that are on our roads. So we're not doing any work on IDOT roads. It's the approaches, especially all the ones on 116. If you go between Kansas City and Farmington, and if you've ever come from Elmwood and you're going south, pretty easy. You can almost, if you're not paying attention, you can almost blow through 116. And there's been quite a few accidents for that reason. So it's just a way to get people hopefully woken up a little bit as they approach these intersections.
I have a question, Leo. What you guys did on Peoria Blacktop Road really alerted a lot of people. I forget what it's called, but remember those little wind things you guys?
Most of these will probably have flashers, like solar powered flashers. The old style we used to do would be a beacon on top of the post. Well, now they're making LED ones that actually stick to the edges of the signs, and they really show up really well.
Yeah, okay.
The spinners, they are nice. They're not quite FHWA approved, so we probably wouldn't be able to use federal funds on them. So, but they are a low cost way, and they do help. Yes.
Any other questions? Vote. Sharon, do you have a question? You're just getting ready to hit your. Thank you, Jeff. Megan, mine's not working yet. I'm an I vote. Motion carries unanimously. And our second resolution has to do with adopt a highway. We need a motion on that, please. Motion by Sharon. Second by Mr. Rulin.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. This is for the County Highways Adapted Highway Program. We only use this when residents ask us to adapt a highway and take care of a road. And we were approached by Mary Ann Steer and family. They would like to adapt Reservoir Road from Route 8 to the railroad tracks. It's about half a mile. And they would like to be in charge of helping with cleanup on that road. And we're asking the board to approve their request and allow them to adapt the highway.
Any questions for Amy? Yes, Betty.
Hi, Amy. Yeah, I'm not sure if you have this information, but are you familiar with the duration period when one adopts a highway? What is
So the original resolution to to adopt the highways for 2 years. Actually, we are going to be revisiting the process. We're working with the recycling folks because they have some interest in this as well for cleanup activities. So we're going to be revisiting it to see if 2 years is appropriate, but that's how it was originally designed to be.
Anyone else with a question? Vote. Chair votes aye. Motion carries. We on to the rest of our agenda. Public comment. Do we have anybody here with public comment? Seeing none, we will move on to miscellaneous. Do we have anything? Paul?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Kyle, I've got a question on the courthouse plaza. How are we coming along on staying within budget on that?
So if you'll recall, last fall, we came before you and proposed a change order that was related to some of the additional shoring work that they needed to do out there in the courtyard. That work has been done, that money has been paid out, and since that time, we are now still living within the original contingency allotment that was established when the contract was first approved. And so with the glide path that we're on now to the finale, we think any of the big outstanding unknowns have already been discovered and worked through. So at this point, I would expect to be able to stay within that original contingency budget.
Okay. When do they think they'll be finished with it all? They'll tell you what the weather is too, right?
Yeah, also good question. Where we're at right now is the project was always broken into 5 different pieces. And so what the approach I think we've taken since 2026 has started is really trying to focus in on one area at a time so we could start to get things opened up in more of a phased approach. And as you may have noticed today when you walked in, we do have the construction fencing pulled back from several areas already. So they are making some substantial progress. I would expect the Soldiers and Sailors Monument, I mean, they're a few days away from having that opened. The main plaza area itself, we're still shooting for kind of that Memorial Day time frame. Really, the piece that's going to perhaps go a bit longer will be what's referred to as Area A, and that's up here on the Main Street side where the Abraham Lincoln statue was previously. And that really was one of the last big unknowns that we ran into. A lot of the new plumbing that needed to come out of the basement of the courthouse to supply the new water feature out there, it had to come out at a much greater depth than what was initially conceived. And so that's part of the reason that large excavator is sitting out there, and we had to do some pretty extensive shoring out there. And then to engineer several penetrations through the actual foundation of the courthouse to get said new plumbing out there. So that slowed us down
a bit. We have made progress there. There is a plan that has been signed off on by the structural engineer. So again, I'm expecting work to pick back up very shortly on that area, but it was a substantial delay as we worked through some of those issues. Sure.
Any more questions? No more miscellaneous. Meeting is adjourned. Whoops, I'm sorry. Did I miss somebody? Terry?
I just wanted to ask Amy to please thank the Steer family for their efforts on Reservoir.
We should all do that. No more questions? Meeting is adjourned.